every year I review a product that really wows me, and wow, MagicShine did not hold back in sending any of their products out this year. I've got 6 or 7 of theirs to review, and this is probably what I would call the flagship model, the MJ-908 bike light combo. For anybody who doesn't know what that means, this is an 8,000 lumen bike light. It's a combo light, so there's a rear light as well. Nice packaging. It's this, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a soft case kind of thing. It reminds me of a Oakley sunglasses case that I've got. I'll go through some of the accessories really quick. There's a manual in there. You've got a Y splitter, which you're going to use to connect the light and tail light simultaneously. If you don't want to run the tail light, you do not need to use this. There are a couple of simple straps. This is for attaching the, you only need one, but for attaching the rear tail light to a seat post. There are optional Velcro straps to Velcro the battery pack to any tube on your bike, down tube, top tube, whatever you see fit. Of course, you can always just stow this in a backpack if that works as well, but there's an option there. The battery pack, we'll get into that a little bit more. That's kind of an integral component. This is the strap for the light, and I'll leave that out as well. Oh, there's more. There's a remote which operates both the front and rear light, and you know what, I kind of misspoke, I guess. One of these straps is going to be for the rear light, the other is going to be for the remote. There is a AC charger. Yeah, what more to say about that? And here are the front and rear lights. The battery pack is constructed of 6 18650 batteries, so 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. There's silicone on the back to prevent from scraping whichever tube on the on your bicycle you attach it to. It's quite nice, actually. It feels really solid. There's also a Velcro piece here which you can use to organize some sort of cable management so you don't have too much rattling while you're using the light. The remote, pretty simple. I won't get into how to use that just yet. You can see that in the review. But again, this top one manipulates the settings on the light. The bottom one for the rear light. The strap here, again, this is for the headlight. You loop these little holes through the front too. Not too bad, maybe a little cumbersome, but you can leave that on there once you get it for the first time. So you've got 3 settings. Essentially, you've got this, and then either of those 2 subsequent holes that you can do. So it's obviously going to accept different handlebar sizes. So the headlight has a proprietary cable end to it, so you can't actually connect this the wrong way. There's also a couple of lines to line up here. I'll zoom in to show you that. There you see them. So there's a couple of lines that you can line up just to ensure that you don't mess up your cables, but again, because this has got these little tabs in it, you actually can't install this incorrectly. The fit's pretty snug and tight. What else to say about it? I guess we'll dive into a little bit more about the light itself. You can see there's a lot of fins on here for heat sinking, and a total of 3, 6, 8 emitters on there. They all kind of have that same lens to them, and I'll dive into what they actually are. I believe they're made by Cree. There's a little bit of heft to this guy. You've got, again, 3 positions, 1, 2, 3 different spots that you can torque this down to on your bike. The top has a display to show you your current output. So this has a full charge. You can see that on the top there with that battery indicator. And then there's like a little, I don't know, half circle on the side that shows you which setting. So you see there's 1 dash there, 2, 3, 4. So those are your 4 constant settings. And then the flash setting is right at the end. It's not isolated, which is a little unfortunate. I'd like to see that isolated from the constant settings, but it's not. So again, you can see the percentage of charge remaining, and then shortly after that it'll switch to a time. So if we wait long enough, there we go. So on this setting, 6 hours, 33 minutes remaining with that charge time. So that's pretty neat. I really like that. One thing that I can say in my review, and I'll kind of illustrate it here because it's probably easier to see on film than to explain it in review, you can see that the viewing angle of this is kind of tough. So even once the light is pitched down a little bit, you can't really read the display. What this means is when it's mounted onto your bike, unless you lean over the top of the bar to read this, you won't really be able to see it, which is both positive and negative. This is relatively bright, so having it face up like this, you end up seeing it less in that sense, which is nice, but then of course if you wanted to see the output, it's a little more difficult to do so. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'll weigh the system. I'll give you a number of weights really, so you can sort of figure out what your system weight is, since you can tailor it to be operated in a number of different ways, and then just confirm some of the different features. Starting with the headlight and strap, about 190 grams roughly. The battery pack, 350, give or take. The remote is quite lightweight, 15 grams. The rear light with that strap, also very lightweight, about 30 grams. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to postulate how most people might run this. The remote, in my mind, is kind of pointless unless you're running the rear light with the setup. You've got a power selector switch right here, so again, I don't think you're going to use this unless you're using the rear light. So for a common setup, let's just say the headlight, battery pack, straps to hold it in place. Guess I need a bigger scale. 542 grams. Now if you were to add the complete system, the remote, hopefully I can do this, the remote, rear light, and you will need the splitter, 617 grams. So there it is. That's the system weight. Okay, features. The emitters here are Cree XML2, so the second generation XML LEDs, maximum output of 8,000 lumens. That's in a perfect world. I think pretty sure those emitters have a max output of 1,000 lumens, so that's again in an absolutely perfect world, full charge, 8,000 lumens. That LCD display is kind of a cool function. Runtime of up to 3 hours on high brightness. I mean, that's a long runtime, really, when you think about it. If you've had any of those battery in light sort of systems, like the all-in-one systems, which is what I usually ride with for my commuting, usually the highest setting has a runtime of about an hour and a half, so this has double that, again, on its highest setting. On the low end of the output, 6.5 hours, they're saying at 20% output, so that'd be their lowest setting, I guess. 6.5 hours. That flash setting may be longer, but even before reviewing this light, I'm going to go ahead and say that flash setting is kind of stupid, really. It's insanely bright. It is probably all of 8,000 lumens, and it's just irresponsible. It would blind any sort of driver that you had it flashing at. It would blind yourself if you were going down a pitch black trail. I'm just going to go out and say that the flash setting is useless. It's far too bright, so it will move on from that. The outputs here are 100%, 75%, 50%, and 20%. So that last step is even just a touch lower than 25. It's at 20%. And the beam angle they're saying is 20 degrees, so relatively narrow, but obviously with 8,000 lumens, you're going to have a lot of light just kind of reflecting as it is. So honestly, that's most of the features here. It looks like you can actually purchase a helmet mount for this. I don't know if I would really want to strap that much weight to my head, but you can. Again, I've ridden this. It's an absolute monster. Continue watching. I'll show you some nighttime footage. Check out the review on my website. There's a purchase link at the bottom if you wanted to pick one of these up. They're very reasonable considering, dollars for output. Thumbs up if you like the video, and geez, I got 3 more lights to review. Check out the rest of the channel for all of the lights up for review this season. Take care.